Now the COUNTIF function is very similar to the SUMIF function, with one major difference in that it doesn't have a double range option. It has one range, and that range is both the criteria and the counting range. If we look at the COUNTIF sheet in the fruit data file, we can do a similar thing here as we did with the SUMIF. We can count how many orders are actually over $25. So that's equals COUNTIF, open brackets. The range is the sales, and the criteria is, open speech marks, greater than 25, close speech marks. So it's the same as the SUMIF in that degree, in that the criteria must be encompassed in speech marks. Not just the value of the criteria, but the operator as well. Close round brackets, return, and we are told that 150 of the sales are over $25. Equals COUNTIF for the over 150. There's the sales range, and then open speech marks, greater than 50, close speech marks, close round brackets, return, and there are actually 102 orders over the $50 mark. Now, because we don't have a separate counting and criteria range, that sort of infers that we can't do the other tables, but we can. All we're actually counting is the occurrence of Bob within the Bob list. So if we use equals COUNTIF, open brackets, our range this time is the salesman, comma, and Bob, so the contents of H2. Close brackets, return, and Bob has made 14 sales. Let's replicate this formula, and we find that both Dot and Sue have made 98 each, because as we drag the formula down, it moves its relative reference to looking at Sue, and the one above is Dot. January, logic leads us into equals COUNTIF, open brackets, the month range, comma, the cell here with the name of the month. 25 times sales are made in January. Copy that down, and we find that all the months are pretty even at 24 and 25. Apples, bananas, the fruit, equals COUNTIF, open brackets, the fruit. So we're counting the same range that the criteria is in, because we're just counting the occurrence of that criteria. So again, our criteria will make it the cell value. So that's bananas. Bananas are sold 59 times. And copy that down. And in fact, most of the fruits are 59, but strawberry is 58 times. So that's the COUNTIF function. No more complicated than the SUMIF. In fact, slightly easier because it only has one range, so you know that you're dealing with a single range, but you're looking at different criteria within that range. Don't forget the little caveat here, where you're physically typing in the criteria to compare values. They must be within speech marks, both the operator and the value.